When the pandemic struck, I found myself, among other solitary activities, turning to writing a little blog. Not published in a very wide circle because it was mostly written for me to reread and feel whole at a later time. The blog included a lot of lessons about my then newly acquired dog, Charlotte. I observed her quite intimately over the course of her puppyhood, watching her learn to read my body cues, training her to sit, stay, and roll. She loved the challenges and taught me that all she wanted was to be with me. I read somewhere that dogs spend a great deal of their lives just waiting for us to return. That makes me sad, and I wish I could take her with me everywhere. But it's just not practical, and I will not pay someone big bucks to write me a letter saying that I need the support of her with me at every turn. It insults people who actually do need dogs as highly trained service dogs. And having these untrained dogs in their working environment can put their dogs and their owners in danger. So I'm not going to do that. Charlotte and Beatrice have shown me ways to behave in this world, and I need their reminders often. I grant you, different breeds of dogs behave differently, as do individual dogs within a breed. This is evidenced by my having lived with several dachshunds, and none of them has been as chill and zen as Charlotte. Now, Beatrice, on the other hand, is tuned into and responds to every move I make, every nuance of cueing. So, what can we learn from the natural canine world? What lessons can we adopt that add meaning to our lives and substance to our spirituality? I grant you, this God talk is a lighthearted one. The first lesson I offer is loyalty. No matter what happens, a dog can be by its human side, even though it means suffering for the pup. There are countless stories of dogs who rescued children and adults while slogging through dangerous and harmful situations. And unfortunately, I know of several dogs whose owners do not treat them well, but the dog still lies at the feet of the human. Stories abound of dogs lying on the graves of their fallen humans, not wanting to leave their vigil even to eat, and the welcoming home of each human when they've only been away 20 minutes at the store. It's the same every day. Loyalty. I will stand by your side no matter what. Another lesson I have witnessed from Charlotte is that she accepts what is. When the vet checks her temperature or looks into her mouth, looks into her ears, palpates her belly, checks her toes, she barely responds at all. It's as though she's thinking, okay, whatever you need to do, I'm good. We, on the other hand, tend to build expectations in our minds, wanting experiences to have an outcome that makes us comfortable. Sometimes this anticipatory anxiety cripples us, creating a fear that is unfounded, raising our blood pressure, causing grumpiness and dread. Oftentimes, when we actually get to the event, the experience, the person that we're dreading, we find new strength and perhaps even a calm because it's not as bad as we had built up in our minds. Charlotte doesn't do that. She doesn't anticipate and dread. She lives in the moment and accepts what it offers her. Both Beatrice and Charlotte trust me. If I say we're riding in the shopping cart at the pet store, they accept it. If I say, let's go, and walk toward the car, they go. If we meet a stranger and I okay the person, They gleefully ask to be picked up by the stranger who has instantly become a friend. They trust me to keep them safe. Now, within our human relationships, trust is built moment by moment, event by event, just as it has been with the pups. Another quality that my pups seemed to know instinctively, and we knew as infants, but it was taught out of us, and that is asking for what we need and want. Of course, there's a huge difference between need and want for all sentient beings. It's easy to categorize food and water and physical affection as needs, and living in a certain type of a neighborhood as a want. But psychologists tell us that infants and young children need physical affection to develop correctly. And I believe elderly people, even in the finest care facilities, need more physical touch than they receive. My pups know how to ask for physical attention. Charlotte flops over readily for a belly rub from just about anyone. And Bee just wants to be picked up so she can cover you with kisses. But how good are we at asking for what we need? How clear are our boundaries about what we will and will not do? Some of us are getting better at saying no to chairing the newest committee, even though we would do a bang up job, because we want to balance our lives. Let's continue that, being careful about asking what do we need, what do we want, how we ask, and setting boundaries around the answers. The best lesson of all for my pups is that of mutual respect and sharing the physical and emotional space. Is there room for one more dog on my recliner? Or do I need a new recliner? How carefully is one placed in the van for a road trip? When I say, no, I'm working, they lie down near me instead of in my lap. It's mutual respect. Some would say it's all about training. And that reminds me of a quote from Dr. Phil years ago. He said, we teach people how to treat us. Now, whether that is with a growl, a paw to the hand, a vicious snap, or a sloppy kiss, we do teach people how to respect us. I may be stretching here for the next bit, but it came to me so strongly that I need to share it. Dog breeds are varied in size, colors, strengths, abilities, and ease of training. Now, as I speak of world religions from time to time, I'm reminded of the varieties of ways that we humans have formed our myths and our opinions about how we got here and what we're supposed to be doing until we move out of mortal form. Varied in theology, deities, clothing, ways of praying, ways of interacting with one another. Which brings me to announcing that today begins the ninth annual Interfaith Awareness Week. Organizations from around the world are providing webinars during this week, and I do recommend joining the Parliament of World Religions for their presentation on August 14th from 12 to 1:30 Pacific time. World Interfaith Awareness Week. May we be aware that our differences are not as large as our similarities. Just as Dachshunds and Chihuahuas and Dobermans are all dogs, Jews, Sikhs, Christians, atheists, Druids, and Muslims are all humans. May we celebrate our diversity, learn a couple lessons from the natural world, including dogs, And may we love all the humanness that we have in common. Blessings on all.